All right, what's up, guys? Today's Friday. Welcome to the weekend. What are we talking about today? What's going on, everyone? Wow, we have a really full live stream today. What's up? Void is first on my screen as well. Nick said, Jason, you're not first today. What's up, Void? I'm Ed. What's going on, guys? Nick, David, everyone. Thomas, Captain, Lambos, what's up, Surf, Chad, Sandy, a bunch of guys in here. Joe Chim, Mr. Clean, Matthias. Can you update ETH as well? I can check out ETH as well. Sorry, guys, I'm on salt. I was going to check this out before dark, and I didn't get to it. I'm going to start with Bitcoin. That's what I like to look at first every single day. So I drew a new kind of pattern, some new support and resistances, which I think are more important than even looking at it as a pattern that I want to look at first. And then also think big picture and in all reality, for the past now 5 days almost, we've still just kind of been in the middle of this no action zone for me. So I've been tracking it, and you know, there's a nice short-term trade set up that I posted the other day, and now there might be another one. But still, honestly, I'm not too excited until we're at this major kind of this critical resistance, this key resistance here, or until we're if we possibly retest this major support. So want to go over that, both perspectives. After that, I'm going to do Altwatch, look at some of the alt trades of today and yesterday, so the coins that I'm in. I'm going to look at Mu again, really briefly, because I've covered that for the past few days, but I want to go over it one more time and kind of that one update that I gave on it today. Also look at Edgeless, which hasn't retraced back to the all-time low yet, so it's a little bit tough for anyone that wants to get in that, but it looks like it's kind of staying afloat right now, not creating a re-entry opportunity yet. Then we have Unicoin Gold, which I'm going to look at. I don't like that coin too much fundamentally, but there is there's a nice narrative forming, and the chart is also the chart's also attractive enough that I think it deserves a look. It's probably one of the only other really attractive charts that I've seen past Mu. Anyways, and then we're also going to look at XMR Monero, that short-term play. Kind of look back at, I reviewed it. It's funny, I reviewed it 5 days ago, and right when I saw the trade today, I realized that was, you know, I drew it up and it went perfectly as planned, but I didn't think back then that it was ideal or optimal enough to trade it, but missed kind of the optimal or the ideal entry, but I think there was still another setup today that deserves a look, and I'm long there. So I'm going to go over those 4 positions. After that, there's a couple bigger picture things that I wanted to look at and just give updates on really quick, which were ICO updates, thoughts about pooling, valuations, new things to consider when investing in ICOs. Just a couple thoughts that I think could help out the majority of the people in here, because I saw some questions bouncing around about ICOs that I think hopefully it can provide value. I know some of you guys already know these answers, but I want to throw those out, and then talk really quick as well about entering trades and how I use that alt trade idea channel. I just want to go over that briefly, since there's some new faces now looking at those alt trade ideas. So I want to make sure that I'm conveying the information clearly and that everyone kind of understands what I'm doing there. So I'm going to start it off with Bitcoin. Looking big picture, I've gone over this plenty of times now, so I'm going to be pretty quick through it. But everyone knows why I like this. Why I like this key resistance. We're still not there, and like I said, nothing is too exciting until this alert is hit here, major support near, or this alert is here, near key resistance. It's hard to say. So yesterday or the other day, kind of played what I called a falling wedge. Go even smaller time frame. And this was the short-term trade idea that we were looking at the other day. I also posted this one on Twitter, but we posted it first in Bitcoin trend analysis, and we're looking at expecting a breakout on the falling wedge. Honestly, I don't think the pattern is too important. You could really just identify this as a basic support, basic resistance, this being the resistance. Once the resistance broke, it was a bullish confirmation that we would see a further upside move, and we saw a move about $600. Now, on the contrary, I've had those two falling wedges drawn, and I've had this one on there as well, just to give you guys this look. Similar pattern to the one we just looked at, break to the upside. I wanted to switch things, and I do this every once in a while. Sometimes I even clear my whole Bitcoin chart. I recommend it just to make sure you're not kind of locked into one view or locked into viewing the charts one way or kind of, I don't know, maybe stuck in how you're viewing a chart. So I wanted to take a look, connecting this to the next peak, and really I could extend this, guys. That's how you're going to have probably the most accurate lines. But just to keep my chart clean, what I'm focused on is still this one being connected to this, and then I just unextend. It just keeps the charts a little bit cleaner for you guys and for me. So the opposite of a falling wedge is a rising wedge pattern. Once again, I don't think it's really too important to even know the patterns or know all the different types of triangles and all that. Quite honestly, guys, it's just knowing how to draw these lines objectively, support and resistance lines, or if you focus on horizontal levels, that's fine as well. I focus on horizontal levels, and I use these trend lines a lot. Keep it really simple, really basic, and that's helped me the most. Anyways, the reason I drew this, and it's the same thing with a falling wedge that I talk about a lot, is it never means that if you see a falling wedge, it didn't mean that we were definitely going to get a move to the upside from here. It never guarantees anything. The pattern's only confirmed, or the pattern's only validated once there is a confirmation of that pattern. So a confirmation of a falling wedge, like we saw here, was that break up. So that was a falling wedge. A confirmation of a rising wedge would be if we broke this support, right? So if it fell through this line, that's if it comes up here and falls through, then I would be looking to enter short. So just wanted to kind of give that second perspective. I see this a lot on Twitter and in some other spaces of, I'll see a picture of a rising wedge and someone will kind of say, we're definitely going down, have to go down, short it. The pattern is really only complete once it's confirmed. So just wanted to throw this look out there. If it does break this support, I might be looking for a short-term trade with the target kind of being this major support. But who knows? We might actually make it to the final target. So this would be the key resistance. We might make it there first if this rising wedge doesn't confirm, if this support doesn't break. So I just wanted to provide one new look in the Bitcoin trend analysis. Sometimes I like to give people different looks and give people different scenarios. If this happens, then that's what I'd be looking to do. If not, then I will close the rest of my long up here up top. So have a game plan for both. That's all I have for Bitcoin, guys. Nothing really new, right? Chad has a question. What's your play if it hits that top resistance? Chad, no play. I'm still long from the original trade was down here in 94.25 with a target of this key resistance. So if it hits this key resistance, I don't do anything. I'm looking to take profits at 11.4. So no play if it's up here. Just looking to close out the rest of my long at the resistance. Good question though. So that's all I have for Bitcoin, guys. Once again, I'm not excited unless it's at the key support or the key resistance. Just giving you some different looks, and for myself, trying to get a little hint of what we could see. Past that, I want to look at some alts. The one that I probably have to cover for the least amount of time. Okay, cool, Jason. I'll definitely take a look. I'll throw that in. I'll throw that in at the end. Mew. I'm going to go over this one a little bit quicker since I've covered it now probably the most in the last 3 or 4 or 5 days or whatever since I've been covering it. But first notice this when it got down to the December 5th, December 7th support, and that's where it was. Had the initial little spike, and then we came back down. And I mentioned this now again. I think I put it in the alt trade ideas twice. And we just now also broke out of that resistance. So it's a nice confirmation. It doesn't mean we're for sure going up. But I do like seeing that. We are seeing some nice volume, but it's a pretty small cap coin. I did just see a bigger Twitter account posted as well. So always beware of pumps, guys. Even if I post it or if anyone posts it on Twitter, don't buy pumps. Don't buy after massive green candles. Oftentimes things retrace. So if this doesn't apply to me, this applies to everything. Choose the level that you want to get in at. And if you want to market buy, if in the grand scheme of things this is something you want to hold and you don't care, and you're just looking to get out up here, it doesn't to you. It doesn't matter if you get in there or if you get in here, then by all means go for it. But I just want to say, you know, when certain people post things or when certain people talk about things, it can make coins move. So be wary of that. I saw a couple of people talking about Mu on Twitter. So it could be that, but technically I also, you know, I identified it back here. I thought it was a great risk reward, and I like seeing this early confirmation. So I'm excited for this one. You know, I said yesterday this is probably my favorite technical setup. So nothing more to really add there. Check out alt trade updates for the update I put in there if you want to kind of a little bit more time to look at what I'm talking about. Past that, we have edgeless. This is that arrow. This is what I want to see, but I'm not sure we're going to get it. So edgeless, this trade idea was exact same as Mu, except I found this one first. You guys know I like to track edgeless a lot. Same exact thing. I'm going to be pretty quick with this because I've updated it a few times. Support December 5th through 7th, beginning of the alt cycle. So once it got back down there, I was super attracted to it. What was even more appealing with Edge is this is the all-time low. So not only was that the beginning of the alt cycle, this is also the all-time low, this green rectangle. So when we got down there, that was a sign for me to pull the trigger. We have a nice, it's sitting around 30% up, but it's kind of hitting this mid-trade resistance. So the final target for this trade and what I'd be really looking for would be at least to the top of the range, so a 2x. But in order to re-enter, or if I add to this, I want to wait. I want to wait for it to get back down here. So I'm going to leave that arrow. I have an alert set as well, so I can let you guys know. It looks like actually that alert got deleted. All right, so that's what I'd be looking for with Edge. No real update past that. Unicoin Gold. So this is the new one. This is the coin that I wanted to go over specifically in the stream. And I'll move a little bit slower with this one because this one is the new idea. So the chart actually looks almost the exact same as Mu, which is nice because that's the kind of setup that I'm looking for right now. So this is the all-time low support. You look back at where price opened. Sometimes I ignore these massive wicks. This is a price discovery phase. You can't really trust it. Anyways, it started to be accumulated down here. You can see the first big volume spike when it got down to this 3,000 sat level. And this is the all-time low. Once again, just broke out, confirmed out of this downtrend resistance. I'm going to delete these boxes here. So this is that downtrend resistance that it had been respecting since early June, or kind of that first major move for alts. If they all started back here early December, they rose until early January and then have been declining ever since. If we're looking a little bit more zoomed in, you can see when we broke out that massive candle right when it breaks the resistance and the volume following. And then we came back down. Like I said, really never have to buy pumps. You don't ever have to buy after the massive greens. You can set your orders, set your entries at the ideal level, and you'd be surprised. I still see it time and time again. There's trades that, not even just with crypto, with everything, with FX and other assets. If I chase a trade and let's say, this pump happens and I buy it right here, I think it's going to fly. When I know that this was the ideal entry, time and time again, you'll see after a few weeks, it'll somehow hit your ideal entry and then continue moving up. And you'll realize, maybe you should have scaled in, maybe you should have been patient, moved a little bit slower, search for those ideal entries, guys. You'd be surprised by how many, and then suppose you do put your entry down here and it keeps going and you miss it. That's okay. I would way rather that happen than buy a pump and then it moves against me and then I don't know if I should buy, if I should sell or stay in it. Right? I would way rather look for the ideal entries and be patient and move slow. So one kind of thought there. Anyways, it does look to be rising kind of out of this accumulation zone again, but in order for this trade to really move, in order for it to really take off, are those volume spikes or those candles? Okay, those are volume spikes. I'd be looking for it to move above 38.50. So that's kind of the first. Where's that line coming from? Aha. This chart isn't too friendly. So that's this support, and you can see that's where these two pushes are getting stopped. So I'd want to see a break, maybe even above 3,900. It's kind of where these two pushes moved up to. This was a previous support that has now turned resistance. So who knows? It could get bumped back down again by this resistance. This is the ideal area that I want to be entering, and for this thing to really start moving, I'd want it to break above 3850 or 3900. For targets, I can determine these based off fib levels. I do this a lot. So I'm just drawing from the swing high to the swing low, and this is going to project out possible fib levels that could act as resistance. So that first target that I would even consider taking profits would be up here at 5400, which is almost a 2x. Second one being, let's say I got it at 3K, almost a 2x. Second one would be up here, and this is also previous resistance. And then I would pretty much scale, it depends. If I maybe took out my initial investment, I'd probably let the rest run a lot further. It depends if we're in a full alt cycle by then. But that's where I'd be looking to take initial profits, and I'm basing that off of these fib levels. So I'm excited about Unicoin. I like it just because it looks so much like Mu. The nice thing about this one too, I put this in the group, into the alt trade ideas, is that they have this going on. I was checking out the roadmap. A lot of times I like to go to their blogs, but they had this right on the home page, and they're calling it the Q1 release, and it's happening early April. So one of the biggest value adds, and there's a lot of kind of gaming coins and utilities, I guess you could say, that they're trying to attack or use for their coins. The biggest one that I think is, online gaming is massive. I don't think people understand really how big of a market it is. And so it's also recession proof, but people actually gambling on the games. So on the online gaming, and then also prize pools with UKG, so the token. So that's pretty interesting. And that'll be happening April 5th. Hopefully that's a nice little catalyst. Either way, even if it's a sell the news event, even if the catalyst is a dud, when the narrative aligns with a nice TA setup, I like those a little bit more. So that's what kind of caught my eye with Unicoin. That's what I'm looking for. But one thing that I was going to add at the very end, and I'll do it right now, because I saw a couple questions that I think should be addressed, just so everyone's on the same page. Void, do we give up on GIM? I haven't. I'll answer that in a second. It's funny. One thought about alt trade ideas. So when I post ideas in there, and I saw a couple of people saying, has that signal passed, or is it still okay to enter? These are literally just ideas, guys. These are ideas, things that I'm looking at, things that I am, just insight into my process. This is not a signal. This is not financial advice. This is not a safe level guaranteed profit. Even let's say I hit 5 trades in a row, or I hit 10 trades in a row, that does not mean you should just follow my trade and go all in, or buy because I said buy here and sell because I said sell here. I'm sharing this because it gives insight to my process. Hopefully it helps you learn about new coins, and then it also kind of facilitates, with the people that I've been working with now for a little bit. They all have so many different trade ideas every single day, and it just creates and fosters a nice community of everyone kind of contributing ideas. So these are just simply my ideas, definitely not signals, but I'll almost always post a support or an entry or a level that I'm looking to get in. I denote those usually with a green box, and then red boxes are usually where I'm placing a target, or I'll be kind of explicit with where I'm posting it. I'll put a percentage or something here. So I just wanted to touch on that really quick. I saw a couple of people wondering if it was a signal or something like that. Not a signal at all, guys. Just sharing what I'm looking at. What else do we have? XMR is the other trade. This one's a little bit frustrating, only because, what was it, last, I guess 5 days ago, I posted this originally. I forget who asked about it in the stream, but I remember we were looking at it, and I posted this in alt trade updates, and price was right about here. It was right in the middle of this symmetrical triangle. And I talk about a symmetrical triangle. Typically, it's a continuation pattern. I talked about moving in on this support. We got a really nice support touch here, or moving in on the retest. And you can see how nicely both happened. The only reason it's frustrating is because I didn't move in on it, right? I didn't think it was a good enough opportunity for a trade, but really nice play would have been made from both those. So I hope whoever asked that question was able to move in. Even if you weren't, I still think there was a good enough trade idea that I wanted to take it. Akasi actually posted an ascending triangle look, pointing out this horizontal resistance that I just wasn't seeing, wasn't picking out with my eyes, but connecting this peak to the next peak, to the next one, I'm going to get this out of here to reduce some of the noise. And then just take a triangle, just also visually. So you can see what that looks like. Once again, the actual pattern isn't too important, but a break of that resistance was the play that I was looking for. You could also play the retest. I like to play retests a lot more than honestly I play breakouts. And you can see it's retesting right now. So whether or not this retest will hold, I'm not sure, but I imagine it will. It was kind of a this was enough confirmation for me. I was just a little bit frustrated that I missed that really ideal opportunity. It's frustrating when you draw it up and it goes just like you drew it up, but you don't act on it. So there's both looks. I'm playing this trade on BitMEX just because I've been on BitMEX a lot lately and had some really nice success over the past week or two. So wanted to stay on there. It was just convenient. I was already logged in. I could have used Bittrex as well. Answer a couple of these questions. Let me get caught up. Where are we at? Jason, I'm going to get to that one about LBC. I can do that at the end. Void said, did we give up on GIM? I haven't given up on GIM yet, but I'm not able to follow up with that Dan guy who's the leader of their team. I try to schedule phone calls, and then I realized that if I schedule too many or tell too many people that I can help out with their project, I realized that I'll start missing phone calls and start missing meetings. So I tried to schedule a phone call with him twice. He didn't respond. Now he's messaged me a few times, but I can't keep up, and I don't have time to kind of do that. So I haven't given up on GIM, but it's brutal. They're still just on Ether Delta. I mean, I got into the ICO void box. I'm not sure about you, but it is brutal that it's still they're just not working on it. They keep saying that they're gonna release a roadmap and release updates. I imagine they're still developing. I don't think it's a scam, but it's pretty tough. I'm not sure what to do. I urge the team along. I don't want to tweet. I don't want to really kind of publicly do anything like that. But maybe if it goes another month or two and they don't do anything, I might have to. What's up? Jason said you like gaming coins, Luca Gamer. I don't have time for Xbox really anymore. Every once in a while I'll play a game of FIFA, but not. I'm spend almost every waking minute doing crypto. Andy, hi Luke. Thoughts on how to play situations like the XMR trade from a long-term holder's perspective? You said you're not in the trade, but now I think you hold XMR long-term. Same for me. My question is, do you just let it all ride as you're long XMR, or would you take some profits by selling XMR to BTC, which you could then buy back once XMR retraces? I guess smart plays to long XMR and BitMEX, but I'm still learning to trade demo BitMEX. Yeah, I mean, you could play it a few different ways. So kind of the core holdings of my long-term ideas portfolio, and I posted this in that long-term ideas channel. I talk a lot about having a separate investing in a separate trading portfolio. Monero is one of my core holdings, so I have 5 core holdings in there. Monero is one that I want to hold no matter what, so for a while I never considered it really a trade, but since I just had money conveniently on BitMEX, I figured this setup was nice enough to play a trade. So if you're already long, I mean, it comes down to, it just comes down to, do you want to trade that coin or are you viewing it as an investment? For me, the investment I don't even want to touch, right? That's just an investment in Monero for me. I don't even want to think of that as a trade. I'm not thinking of it as a trade. That's set aside. I'm viewing this almost as a separate position. So this is in my trading portfolio. I'm looking to take 1 to 4 trades at a time. This is one of those that I wanted to take. So we'll see. I hope this retest holds. But if not, I imagine it'll come back down and either retest this resistance or this support one more time. But we'll see. I like that breakout. I want to see if it keeps going. What else do we have? A couple more updates I just want to throw out there, guys, just because I saw some discussions in the group, and I think hopefully it can answer a bunch of people's questions. I saw questions about, and then I'll do, Jason, I'll do LBC at the end, and I'll take any other coins you guys want to look at. Couple thoughts on ICO updates, pooling valuations, and new things to consider. Just for right now, I saw something pretty startling and pretty, I guess you could say disappointing on Twitter, not anywhere in here. But I guess it's fair. But I saw people being reported for facilitating ICO pools. I know the SEC is being pretty strict and looking to really crack down. I don't think they're looking at a lot of smaller players, but I saw different Twitter accounts kind of reporting other people if they knew that they were pooling and stuff like that. And to me, that's a pretty massive risk. So I don't want to risk anything legally. It's still a pretty big gray area on whether or not it's actually legal to pool other people's funds and then invest it in ICO. To me, it sounds like they would need to be a CPO, just coming from the FX world, commodity pool operator. But who knows? It depends. So I'm staying away from pooling right now. I saw a couple questions in there. You guys are you have complete freedom to do it. Full disclosure, I've still participated in pools. I just don't want to be the one organizing it right now. It just seems like a pretty massive risk to take, especially when they're going after it. They say they're going after groups. So I'm playing everything by the books, my name and kind of, doing everything legally and all that is the most important to me. So I kind of just can't take that risk right now, guys, until there's more legal clarity on what is allowed in terms of ICO pooling. I still want to give more ICO updates. It's something that I need to continually work on. But right now, I'm not too excited about the ICO market. There's been a couple that have come out and performed well, but honestly, I think I'm more excited about kind of finding opportunities that are hitting market and are possibly undervalued. We seem to go through a boom and a bust with ICOs. And sometimes it's very closely correlated to how the alts are doing. Sometimes it's just closely correlated to how many ICO projects they're pumping out daily. And it seems like there's more and more coming out every single day. So the market it feels saturated to me. So I'm kind of staying away in terms of updates, pooling, new things to consider. I need to update my spreadsheet. I'm still using the exact same spreadsheet to grade them, but I'm going to make a post in ICO updates that's going to I'm gonna change the settings around a little bit. The hype score needs to be changed a little bit because token sales have figured out a way to game the telegrams and all that, and just change a couple things there. But if you guys are looking for kind of an ICO system or any of that, I have it all open source. You can check it out in the ICO updates channel. It's pinned to the top. So check that out if you're looking for a way to kind of quantitatively grade ICOs. Feel free to make any adjustments you want to see. Jason has a good question. When WAN chain happens, man, that'll be huge. That'll be you'll know. I'll be pretty happy that day when WAN chain comes out. Put a nice investment into WAN. What else do we have, guys? Last thing. Okay, I already covered entering ideas and trade things to consider. I was going to do long-term ideas here, but we're already kind of running out of time, so I'm going to take questions instead. Jason, I still remember you said look at LBC. Library Coin was the one that I was going to look at with Kyber last week. I liked it, but okay, it actually did end up breaking out of that resistance. So this was kind of the first, really it seemed like the first alt that moved. And it looks like it's continuing that push. So I don't like it anymore. If I would have caught an entry actually down here, I had an alert set, and I think I was waiting for this little guy right here to come back down to the fib resistance. So being a little bit, I was being cautious. I wanted to wait for the full retrace, and it looks like it already started to move. So do you have any specific question with that, Jason? Oh, you said you posted in all discussion. Let me take a look. I thought exactly. Oh, looking to take profits. It's going to be interesting to see if this is already broke. So it looks like, just basing off the along the diagonal resistance, it looks like this resistance is going to line up. It looks like you're seeing it the same way I am. It's going to line up nicely with this fib. So this will be a pretty serious test, in my own opinion. If I was in this trade, that's where I would be looking to take profits. Yeah. It'd be a nice 60 or 50%. Be inclined to lock in some profits. Was wondering if you sometimes take profits along diagonal resistance or horizontal levels. It makes more sense. No, diagonal as well, Jason. Diagonal as well. Certainly. That's kind of what I'd be looking at. The horizontal is just a nice confluence there, so they kind of both line up. Diagonal works just as well. I use it all the time, man. So yeah, we're thinking the exact same there. That's definitely where I'd be looking, or at least what you could do as well. You could even kind of reduce or make this position risk-free or take partial profits. But I would definitely be looking to take profits there, in my own opinion. I can't give you advice, but that's what I would do. We're thinking the same thing. Yep, you got it. Nice. Void, Neo, looks like forming a Head and Shoulders. Neo, after that ontology run up, it's kind of like a Siamese Head and Shoulders. That's not a real pattern. It's just kind of what it looks like, right? This would be two heads. This would be left shoulder, head, right shoulder. If it does break this neckline, yeah, I think that'd be a nice short opportunity. It reminds me a lot of Litecoin. So when Litecoin came back from that all-time high push after the LightPay announcement and I went short, I think there would have been a nice opportunity to go short here with Neo as well. We played the long after that ontology news up to the all-time high at 140. I could have turned around and went short, but it's one of those things. I just don't even. Sometimes you can't play every single move. But yeah, this is that's serious. If it breaks this, for sure, I would definitely be looking to play a short. Very similar to the retest earlier that I showed with Monero, guys. I think we could see the exact opposite when Head and Shoulders break. You could either enter kind of on the breakout to the downside. Another way to play them, which is what I prefer, is I really, really, really like retests. And I have a video on this actually in the education channel. So give it a look if you want more. Want to know a little bit more about what I'm talking about with retests. But all it means is when things break support, oftentimes they're retested as resistance, especially Head and Shoulders patterns. So same thing with resistance. Oftentimes we'll see a resistance break and then it's retested as support. So it's not an Elliott wave. It's just a retest. Cool. Nice spot there, Void. I think I'll be looking to play it on BitMEX. But that's all I got, really, guys. We're at 31 minutes. I got to wrap this up. I want to get a haircut and get a lunch in. And then I'm going to keep putting in a little bit of work. And then I might hop off a little bit early tonight around 8 p.m. or so. I have a friend coming into town that I want to see and get dinner with. So thanks, everyone, for tuning in. Good questions. Good stuff. Looks like all the discussions, everything's going pretty well. It's nice to see some of the alts already moving well. And yeah, I'm excited. Patiently waiting on Bitcoin to kind of make that next move. I'm not excited until we hit a major or key resistance or until we hit that key support again. So it's a waiting game for me. Until then, I'm going to keep looking for alts that are showing that are in the ideal spot. I want to be patient. I know a lot of people are talking about alts are back, alt season. I am optimistic with alts, but at the same time, I want to move slow right now. So anyways, guys, I'm signing off. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you guys in the Discord. Peace.